Hello. This is Juana, aka Miss Juana. I did share 2 videos that I promised with you guys earlier. I did offer a 3rd video, which is all about who I am, my brand, why the athletic gear, what does it mean to me. Not gonna lie, I was gonna pre-record this video instead of going live. But I want you guys to see and feel how I feel when I talk about these things, not a pre-recorded video. So that's why I came live. So a little bit about me. I am that's what happens when you do lives. That's why I wanted to pre-record it. I was born in Miami to Cuban immigrant parents in 1981. My mom was 21, my dad was 51, so 30-year gap difference. Age difference. I don't know what I just said. Was born in a home and raised in a home with domestic violence, alcohol and drug abuse, physical and mental abuse. Fast forward a little bit, the relationship didn't work out. DCF, Department of Children and Family, got involved. My mother lost custody of us. My godmother, who I call my mom to this day, took custody of me and my siblings. She had 3 kids of her own, so it was hard for her to try to raise 7 kids in a house with 1 income. So she did eventually end up giving up my siblings, and she kept me because I was the oldest and I could be molested, etc. With that being said, she divorced. Her husband was also involved with alcohol and drugs, and she remarried. And when she remarried a guy that was younger. Not sure how that happened, but you know it happens. We fall in love, we fall infatuated, whatever the case. They got married. Well, this man would get drunk, of course, the pattern, right? He would get drunk and try to molest me, and I never said anything. But one day he wrote me a love letter that my first reaction was to tear it up and throw it in the garbage. But then something in me snapped and said, you know what, take this up, because God forbid he ever fully rapes you, or he ever, aside from manhandle you, something happens to you. This is the only proof you have, right? So I taped it back together, and the next day, or maybe a couple of days later, I went to school and I was talking to one of my friends at my favorite teacher's class, of course, because I used to be like a teacher's pet in this class. And he overheard the conversation. So he pulled me to the side and said, I have to report this because God forbid something happens to you. I'm aware of the situation. And I said, I trust you. Whatever you think is best for me. I know that you have no ill intentions. I mean, this man, I used to say he was going to walk me down the aisle because my dad has since deceased. He passed away when I was 12. So long story short, my mom didn't believe me. Right? She's my mom today, but back then, whatever, shit happens, right? She didn't believe me, so I got put back in foster care. From being in foster care, I was basically almost already an adult, so I got the opportunity to go through an independent program, living program that basically taught me how to pay my bills, how to commute, because obviously I didn't have a car at that time, how to get a job, how to, be responsible, quote unquote. So I aged out. I was working. I was obviously partying, unfortunately following the same steps that my mother, because I didn't, what examples did I have? There was no successful story around me. Fast forward, I've had 2 abortions. I've been raped by an Uber driver twice. I've obviously endured with my own alcohol and drug abuse. I've had 2 suicide attempts. And I'm just trying not to cry, guys, so I'm sorry. Before I go on into my brand, I know some of y'all stories, and I don't know. And but I'm sure you can relate to something of what I just said. And it sucks. It sucks that we grew up that way. It sucks that when we were young, it it was okay for us to get our ass whooped. I mean, not to say that some of these kids need their ass whooped, but like, it was okay for us to be abused. We didn't know what mental health was. We didn't struggle. Like, it was normal, unfortunately, growing up, at least in my neighborhood. I don't even want to say in just my house, but it was a common thing in the neighborhood. And so obviously I had 2 suicide attempts, right? That means I was ready to give up at least twice. There are days I don't want to go home alone. Like, I live alone. I do everything by myself. And there are days that I'm like, this sucks, but at least nobody's beating on me or abusing me, right? So why Strong by JC? Well, JC are my initials, right? Obviously, Juana Caridad. In case you were wondering what the JC stands for. And strong because I realized that's all I was. I was just strong enough to get by. Strong enough to not succeed, but strong enough to get through the suffering. Strong enough to make it another day. That's all I had, my strength. Some of the things that I've lived, I can honestly say I survived purely because I was strong enough to keep going. Let me change these around. My logo, right? So my logo is a heart and it has a barbell through it. And maybe you're thinking, oh, the heart is lifting weights or whatever. But no, it has way more meaning to me than that. The barbell is obviously a barbell is a weight, but I translate that to more than just fitness. I translate that to strength. I translate that to the struggles, the pain that I had to endure to make it through another day. The heart, in case you didn't know, the heart is your strongest muscle. You know that you can be plugged into machines, ventilators, everything to keep you alive. But the minute your heart gives up, there's nothing else keeping you alive. And yeah, I said that. It's funny how I know my own story because I did this because I didn't want to cry at the event, which I ended up crying anyway. My vision for this line is, one, I don't want it to be a skinny girl clothing line, right? Because a lot of the athletic gear companies and vendors that I've been trying to work with do small, medium, large, extra large. I don't want that. I want to include everyone. I want everyone to feel included in my brand. And it's gonna initially it's gonna be just for women because I want to empower us. I want us to be strong, and I want us to know that we can get through anything. And I don't know about you, but even if I'm not working out, if I have on my workout clothes, I feel strong. I feel empowered. I feel like I could do whatever the day throws my way. Like, if I could go to work in gym clothes every day, I promise you, I would get so much more done. I promise you. That's just what that type of clothes does for me. So when someone confessioned me the other day, oh, I'm just curious, why an athletic line if you don't work out? First of all, if you go through my page, you know I enjoy working out. I basically have a whole gym back there in my living room. I haven't been working out because I have an iron condition that we're trying to figure out if I need an IV, if there's a way to fix it. And if you know anything about someone who is anemic or iron deficient, you know that they lack energy. Like, you have no energy to do anything. Sometimes I don't even want to get out of bed. But anyways, the reason for the athletic line is because I feel empowered and I want you to feel empowered. I feel strong. I feel like I can make it through the day. And I want to relay that through my clothing line, because if that's what it does for me, then that's what's going to do for you. So my vision is to have an all-inclusive. I just found a vendor that actually Thank you. Sorry for the interruption, guys, but that's what happens when you're doing a live. I can't cut this out. That was Home Depot delivering my light bulb for my bathroom. If you saw my stories this morning, you know that it's dead. So anyways, back to my vision. My vision, again, is to be all-inclusive. I actually found a vendor that does small. They don't have extra small. At least I didn't see any, but I'm trying to get extra small. I'm waiting for a response. All the way to 2, 3, 4, and even 5X, okay, on some of the items. So that's what I want, because I want you to see me and you be like, I want to feel like her. I want to look like, not look physically, because like, again, a size small and a size 5X and me, we're not going to look the same. But I want us to feel that empowerment, that strength when we wear this clothes. So that's why an athletic clothing line. My vision for my line is so much bigger than that. I was actually looking at things to drop this fall that were not even athletic related, but I'm not ready. I'm not ready to go there. So I'm not going to do that. But I hope this gives you a little bit of history of who I am, what I've been through, why the clothing line, why the brand, why the logo, because it empowers me, and I'm just looking forward to empowering you through it. That my struggles don't have to be your struggles. They could be your lessons, like what I went through, how I survived, could be how you don't have to deal with something. You know what I mean? Like, I know that sounds simple and it's actually really freaking hard. But yeah, I hope this answers your questions. I will save it down in my profile so you guys could go back and look at it. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Truly, truly, truly hope to empower and encourage many of you, whether that is with your weight loss, whether that is with just feeling strong, feeling empowered, whether that is with just laughing. However I can help you, I hope that I can. So I love you guys. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.